Hi, again, my name is Craig Heath. I'm the proud superintendent here in Mentor Schools. We are so fortunate to have such a great turnout here today for our business partnership breakfast. Again, one of those things that we're trying to build up a little bit more and grow this every year, because ultimately the people sitting in this room are the ones that are providing those services and those connections to really benefit all of the students that are sitting in the room here as well. To our students, especially our seniors, you'll probably hear me say this again at graduation, but I'm sorry, because we didn't have any snow days this year. But it's because we wanted to make sure that you got every ounce of education out of this school year as possible. But I'm sorry, especially to you, Katie, who's been pushing it for so long. To Brady and Jolene, I'm on #1 cup of coffee. Since every business partnership breakfast or meeting that we've had this year, they've been tracking my coffee intake for me, so still on #1, Brady. Still on #1, Jolene. Thank you. To our business partners, thank you. We could not do what we're doing with our CTE programs, with our work-study programs here in Mentor Schools without everybody sitting in this room. You guys are incredible. I know Joe's going to talk a little bit more about that here shortly, but I want to say thank you from my office as well, because this is one of the reasons that I came to Mentor. I was down in Central Ohio for 30 years in education, and really Mentor is the only place I would have wanted to come here in Northeast Ohio because of all of these partnerships that are already established. We're looking forward to expanding on that. I know you've got the partnership guide in front of you. That was a big part of the work that our Business Advisory Council put together this year. Hopefully Joe will touch on that a little bit too. Like I said, Joe, I didn't read your speech. I know it's going to be phenomenal, but I didn't read it ahead of time because I want to be blown away. But that work that we did together to create that partnership guide is really going to, excuse me, really going to lead our district forward in our work with CTE programming, with College Credit Plus connections, how we get this down into our middle schools and elementary schools to really start generating that career awareness, that career exploration, and ultimately that career experience that you guys provide for our students on a daily basis. So thank you. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Joe. I know we've got some great partners that we're going to be recognizing here today, so I'll be back up to talk about one of them here soon. But again, thank you for coming. Thank you for all that you do. And again, please enjoy our ceremony here today.
All right. Good morning, everybody. So right off the bat, I was going to tell you, these are a lot of familiar faces from last year, and I think we've already in the second year have made some strategic improvements with this. We don't have, last year, I don't know if you guys remember, but Mrs. Bowser, our Director of People Services, she was serving the food, so we've already gotten some improvements now. Things are, we did extend the time by 50%, so it is now 90 minutes. That's okay. But really, really excited to have all of you guys here today. So, good morning. I am Joe Glavin, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak this morning regarding some of the exciting educational initiatives and opportunities that are being made available to students of Mentor Schools due to the overwhelming support provided by our community members. I wonder if I can do this. Can I just put this here? It didn't work for Craig because he's 6 feet tall, but at 5'6", I'm good, guys. I assure you. All right, now, so normally I would give a rousing speech about how at Mentor Schools we are knocking things out of the park with workforce readiness and all of our other initiatives, which we are. That is factual. I like it. I think we're doing a great job. But instead, I had an interaction on Tuesday that led me to change directions. And I would like to share with you a quick 2-minute news story that ran last March regarding one of our workforce programs, Cardinal Works.
Now, Mentor Schools is getting a big financial boost that's expected to help students prepare for the future.
The district just received a $200,000 grant for its job training program focused on assisting students with disabilities. News 5's Jay Jarvis spoke with one of those students about how the program is helping him achieve his dreams.
Cameron Namey is a jack of all trades.
We've been doing tagging clothes back in the clothes closet, cleaning like kitchen appliances and stuff like that.
He's learning all of that in Menor School's Cardinal Works program.
Well, it's only one.
It's a job training coordinating program that teaches life and employability skills to adult students with disabilities between the ages of 19 and 21. And Cameron has one place in mind where he'd love to put what he's learned to work.
I want to get a full-time job at Dick's Sporting Goods. I would like to stock sports equipment and all the clothing and what they do.
He and the other Cardinal Works students spend time both in the classroom and the daily living skills lab, brushing up on household chores before they head out to job sites, whether they're in the school's work-based learning spaces like their Cardinal Closet and Menor Spirit Store, or one of the program's community partners, including businesses in retail, hospitality, healthcare, and manufacturing.
Within those pathways, they can really focus on those hard skills, not only the soft skills, but also the hard skills that they're going to need to have a job within that specific pathway.
Intervention specialist Sarah Bitlack says since 2011, more than 50% of the program's graduates have been competitively employed in the community at places like Menards, McDonald's, and Walmart. And they're hoping to add to that number with help from a $200,000 grant from the Ohio Department of Education.
The grants money is going to help expand on a lot of the things that we already do up here. We're going to put a mock store within our classroom up here. We're going to be adding another tier of our classrooms for the 11th and 12th graders.
They also plan to expand the Spirit Store, a job site where Cameron's getting the experience he needs for the job of his dreams, a dream that may come true in the very near future.
I just wanted to let you know that it was confirmed and that you're going to get to shadow an employee at Dick's to see what a day at the job is like.
Awesome.
Next week.
Sweet.
You excited?
Yes.
Awesome, buddy. We're excited for you.
Yeah.
In Menor, Jay Jarvis, News 5.
I'm going to tell you, we're going to be doing a lot of applause here during this speech, so get ready. Now, looking back at that video, obviously, I'm proud knowing, kind of seeing that. That was from a year ago, March last year. And I'm proud knowing that with those funds, we utilize those exactly as intended. And it often feels nowadays that promises are made in abundance and follow through is often forgotten in the rearview mirror. So yes, it pumps me up to know that following this breakfast this morning, Chris Weber from the Chamber, we are going to be having our ribbon cutting for the grand opening of our new Spirit Store that was discussed in the video. And we're also going to be providing a tour of the many spaces of Cardinal Works that we renovated over the past year. Now, those things are all great. And using funds fiscally responsibly is 100% a great talking point, especially with the potential permanent improvement levy this fall, maybe. But that still isn't what changed the direction of my speech. It was a trip to Dick's Sporting Goods on Tuesday night. So earlier this week on Tuesday, number one, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about because I gave a pretty good workforce speech last year, and I'm like, there's only so many ways we can frame this. But I'm picking up my son, and I picked him up from We Care, which for some of us that are older, it used to be called Latchkey. But so I'm picking up my son from We Care, and my son Joshua, as I saw him, he walks out the door, and he's like, Dad, look at this. And he essentially like Jimmy buffeted his shoe, okay? Blew out his Nike. So I'm like, all right. So we drive right over from Ridge Elementary School. We go right over to Dick's Sporting Goods. But it was who helped us that changed my feelings about today. Now, as you might recall from the video, this is Cameron. Cameron is now employed 3 days per week at Dick's Sporting Goods. And he helped not one, but all three of my sons purchase their shoes. And as we spoke with Cameron, I explained to my children how Cameron was a graduate of Cardinal Works. And then I said to my kids, without really thinking about it, this is why I love my job. my why. Not what I do, not how I do it, but why I do it. My purpose, my belief, that regardless of upbringing, background, past, present, or future choices, every person deserves the right to find their own passion and pride in what they do. And as I reflected on my own why, I began thinking about the people in this room. And not what each of you do or what you have done, but why you do it. So I thought about not one, but all three of our Mentor High School robotics teams that were led by staff of Libra Industries, Freedom Corporation, and also our Mentor staff. I thought about Alec Byram, Mike Prochaska, and those staff members from those organizations who put in countless hours after work, weekends. And it wasn't what they were doing, which was building a robot for the BattleBots competition this past weekend, which I would add, we were runners up and we had a 5th place finish as well. But it's why they were doing it, to help instill a passion for engineering in our students. If at this time, could our RoboBots teams, our sponsors, and AWT members please stand and be recognized? I also thought about our career technical education instructors and education professionals that we have from Mentor, Lakeland, and Auburn. I thought about not what they are doing, which is providing in-demand skills and professions we desperately need, which is great and needed, but why they're doing it, to help light the passion in our next workforce generation. And at this time, could we have our CTE instructors, all school personnel, from Mentor, Lakeland, and Auburn, please stand and be recognized. If you guys got an idea yet of this theme, there's going to be a lot of people standing up here. So, I thought about Mentor Police and our local officials at Mentor, who I see in the halls of Mentor High with the various police officers, and I think about the people we see around the streets of Mentor, who are doing their job not because they have a goal to serve and protect, or to repave roads, or to redo sidewalks, or adding playgrounds, which I love all of those things. But why are they doing it? Which is to create a community where people feel safe and people choose to raise their families. So at this time, can the city of Mentor and Mentor police officials please stand and be recognized? Now, I also think of our elected officials who are fighting for us on a daily basis, not only in Lake County, but in Columbus and Washington as well. And sometimes even with each other, and that's okay. To ensure not that one specific policy is passed or rejected, but to ensure that we are holding our government accountable and that it maintains its reason for existence, which is to ensure that the residents in Ohio and Lake County can be guaranteed our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, while there may be various interpretations of how we get there, and I'll be honest, I was a little bit nervous bringing up politics this morning. I'm just going to tell you, it's not a great thing all the time. There is no question of our elected officials and the why for those individuals. So at this time, could our elected officials please stand and be recognized? Like one or two more. Now, I also thought about our Business Advisory Council that was reimagined this year at Mentor Schools. and the members of that council, they participated not because of some short-term benefit or quid pro quo, but because there is a desire to help our youth discover their passion and to ensure we leave Lake County stronger than before we got here. Can everyone that was a part of our Cardinal Connect Business Advisory Council please stand and be recognized? Very cool. All right, we're good. I'm not going to call anybody out after this. We're good now. So, this then brings us back to my own why. And I think about the over 800 students that we currently have at Mentor Schools participating in some form of career technical education. I think about the over 56% of 10th grade students that applied to be in a career technical education program this year. But while I think about those things, which are great, I also think about going back 2 years. Out of all the students that applied for programs, we had 6.8% of our 10th grade class was waitlisted for the programs that they chose to go into. And then we move forward to this year. Over 16% of our 10th grade students are currently waitlisted for programs that they want to go into. And with this in mind, Mentor Schools has embarked on a mission to reimagine what workforce readiness looks like in Ohio. And through the help and guidance of our Business Advisory Council and many others in this room, this fall we are implementing several new initiatives, including new CTE electives for 9th and 10th graders. We are adding an expansion of work-based learning opportunities through our new Young Professionals Academy, which will help an additional 100 students per year explore more work-based learning experiences. And we also created our business partnership guide that each of you will have at your table now, which provides ways for our community members to actively participate with our school district in a way that's comfortable for them. And even as recently as this week, and you guys know this because I've reached out to many of you, we are set to submit tomorrow a proposal of what we believe is the future model of workforce readiness in schools. Following the lead of Governor DeWine and Lieutenant Governor Husted and their historic proposal of $300 million being invested in CTE facilities expansion and renovation, we will look to reimagine within Mentor High School how education is being delivered. And through this, very importantly, without increasing salaries or costs to local taxpayers, we aim to increase our current 36% of students enrolled in a CTE program, which is awesome, to over 50%. Through this change, we will eliminate the wait list and allow more students to discover their why. Now at this time, I guess I do have one more. Will all the Mentor students who are here today please stand and stay standing for us? No, don't clap for them yet. Don't clap for them yet. You got to save it. They're going to get a clap. We're going to get a clap. Now, with these students standing right now, I will conclude my speech and say that for everyone in this room, the next why is all of our whys. And that's helping this next generation find theirs. Because in this future economy, people are not being motivated solely by money or by benefits or even work from home privileges. Maybe some of them are. But in our future economy, our workforce is going to work for those who can help them figure out their why. And together, we can help inspire the next generation of Ohio's workforce, not by what they do, but why they do it. Now, I would like to thank you again for allowing me to speak this morning. And I would like to ask that we please provide these students a round of applause for their willingness to discover their why. Now we clap for them. All right. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak today. And with that, I would like to move on to present today's special recognitions. So part of our Cardinal Connect event that we have now, is our second year, is we like to honor some of our partners that are making a tremendous impact with our students and in our community. And this first one is going to be Habco Tool, and I think it's very fitting that our first organization to be recognized, their story actually starts also at our first Cardinal Connect event last year. So 1 year ago this week, we held our inaugural Cardinal Connect event during Ohio In-Demand Jobs Week. And during that event, Chad Sanders attended, and he had a chance to speak with some of our students. And after that event, Chad sent me a message, and it said, "Joe, I have never spoken with anyone who takes more pride in their work than Ian does. It was absolutely incredible. He had such a genuine care in what he does, and if I were to interview someone who showed me that they would even take half of the pride in their job as Ian does, I would hire them in a heartbeat." And he continued, "I would love to learn if there are any opportunities for Habco to grow our partnership with Mentor Schools." And again, there's, as we kind of go in this world now, we start seeing, people are willing to say a lot of things. What matters is, what are they willing to do? What are they willing to follow up on, right? And so Habco Tool, after that, this past fall, Habco expanded its partnership with several additional interns, including one of those students being Ian, who was the student who sat with them at that breakfast. And after several months of working at Habco and doing an amazing job, I am happy to share that Ian was presented with and accepted an employment offer to continue his work at Habco after he graduates from Mentor Schools. Ian and Chad's story is the goal of Cardinal Connect and the idea of being able to bring our school and community together. Now, we are very lucky to have in the audience today a special guest with us to help present our award. So if right now Mr. Ian Carter could please come up here at this time. Now let's go ahead and give Ian a round of applause. Now I do think before we give this award, I do think it's important to note that we should acknowledge that Ian did a better job networking last year at Cardinal Connect than most of us did, in that he was able to secure himself a job. So really excited for that one. At this time, I would ask, could you please join me in congratulating Habco Tool? And come on up, guys. All right, now for our next award, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Kristen Estes.
Thank you, Dr. Glavin. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. I am very excited to present our next award to the Mentor Area Chamber of Commerce, which is an organization that is near and dear to my heart and such great supporters of Mentor Public Schools. I've been lucky to have the opportunity to serve on the Chamber's board as a liaison for the last 13 years. And I'm telling you that information because I have had the opportunity to see firsthand and behind the scenes all of the amazing opportunities the Chamber creates for members of our community, the people of our community, the local businesses, especially both big and small. From hosting countless events for people to learn and network, to implementing programming that actually saves businesses in our community money, the Chamber does it all and does it well and really connects people in the best ways. And on top of that, they're always looking for new and innovative ways to help their members grow. From the school's perspective, when it comes to the Mentor Area Chamber of Commerce, when it comes to the Mentor Public Schools perspective, you couldn't be better partners for us. Each year, the Chamber helps us share our story with the greater community by allowing us to host a State of the Schools event with our superintendent. The Chamber also helps organize various meaningful events for our students like job fairs, career exploration days, young professionals networking opportunities, Alliance for Working Together connections, ribbon cuttings, and more. You are present, we can count on you, and again, you really connect people in the best ways. Additionally, through its foundation, the Chamber provides and awards scholarships to students each year, and most of those scholarships end up going to Mentor High School students who plan to attend college or enter their careers right away after graduation. It's no surprise that the Chamber is so successful with Chris Weber leading it. Chris is exceptional, one of the most hardworking people I know, and dedicated. Chris is mentor through and through. When Chris says something is going to get done, you know that it's happening, and you know that it's going to be done very well. She is surrounded by a great team in the office and supported by the most committed, I like to call you guys super volunteers, who diligently serve on the board. And you know, sometimes it can be challenging to find volunteers, especially at this level of commitment that it requires to be on the board for the Chamber of Commerce. But the caliber of volunteers the Chamber attracts is an indication that people realize just how important this organization is to our community. So I really cannot think of a better fit for a Business Impact Award than the Chamber of Commerce, because not only the positive impact you provide here from Mentor Public Schools, but you provide a positive impact for businesses all across of our community, hundreds of them. So thank you for all that you do. We appreciate you. And please join me in congratulating the Mentor Area Chamber of Commerce, Chris Weber, and the board members. If Chris Weber and the board members could come on up. Come on over here.
Come on over, friends. Come on over this way. You got this big screen. We're going to take a photo.
I'll be on it.
Thank you. And for our next award, we are going to have our Marketing and Business Administration instructors, Drew McKnight, Lauren Tuziant, and also Evie Megary. Come on up. Not an instructor, senior student.
Thank you very much. I am Drew McKnight. I'm here with Lauren Tusian, who was just mentioned, and Evie Megary, who's a senior student in the Marketing and Business Administration program. Very proud to represent not only Mentor Schools, but the Marketing and Business Administration program here at the high school. Did put a few words on paper here, so be hanging with me for a couple minutes. One of the joys of being a part of the MBA program is allowing the students the opportunity to make real-world learning connections. The ability to learn both in the classroom and through hands-on experience in the workforce through internships allows for invaluable growth opportunities for our students as young professionals. Few individuals and organizations have made as significant of an impact on the students in the MBA program as Rick Busby of the Rogers Company. 7 years ago, as president of the Rogers Company, Rick took a chance on one of our high school students in the MBA program, believing that the Rogers Company could add value to the learning experience by providing on-site training in a variety of essential business functions. This paid position proved to truly be a mutual, beneficial relationship for both Mentor High School and the Rogers Company. Since 2016, the Rogers Company has expanded internship opportunities, hosting students from both the MBA program as well as the construction management program. Moreover, students from each of these programs has been hired to full-time positions with the Rogers Company. Rick has not only been a great mentor and business partner, but he truly cares about the long-term success of our students. He keeps in touch with many of the past interns and even helped another former MBA student land a supply chain job at Swagelok after she graduated from college. Our mission at Mentor Public Schools is inspiring students today to reach their potential tomorrow. Over the last 7 years, Rick Busby and the employees at the Rogers Company have done just that. It is our pleasure to not only recognize Rick Busby and the Rogers Company as our business partner, but also our friend. While it is challenging to put into words the impact that Rick has made on both the MBA program at Mentor High School as well as the school district in itself, I think it is safe to say that the MBA program would not be where it is today without the influence of Rick Busby and the Rogers Company. We thank him for his continued partnership with us and congratulate him on his well-deserved 2023 Business Impact Award. Thank you, Rick.
I would also just make a quick side note. Evie, right now, who's going to sit down, she was recently nominated earlier this year as a Ohio Presidential Scholar, CTE, and she was nominated for that. And she has actually moved on to now she's a national semifinalist, where she is down to the top 60. And later this month, we will find out if she is one of the winners. So, Evie, congratulations. And for our last award, Superintendent Craig Heath.
All right, two things. Number one, Brady, Jolene, two. Okay. The other thing I want to mention before I jump into this award, I'm not wearing a tie. I've realized very quickly in this job that I have no idea what I'm going to be doing on a daily basis. And a couple of weeks ago, kind of leading into this award here today, our EMT Academy and one of our past recipients of this award, our fire department here in Mentor, threw me in the Mentor Lagoons to save me. So I've learned not to wear ties to work anymore, so I apologize to the board in advance. Couple of other things as we lead into this next award, because this is such a personal thing for me as well. I want to go back to the interview process when I was selected as the superintendent. The last interview, I had to give a presentation, about 20 minutes, just kind of talking about what my vision would be for the district. Got done with that, thought it went pretty well. And then the board started to ask some questions. Very first question out of the chute, obviously, you know how interviews go. You give them a little softball and kind of run from there. First question, and I love you guys for this. So today, Governor signed into law that teachers are now allowed to carry guns. What are your thoughts? It's a great softball question to get things started. A big part of my answer revolved around this next award recipient, which is our Mentor Police Department. We are so fortunate here in Mentor to have a great relationship with our police and fire departments. Last year we recognized the fire department. We've got a great relationship with our EMT Academy as well, which I talked to them a little bit earlier. It seems like every function we have, we're all together again, which touches my heart. I talked to Jake's mom last night at a boys volleyball game and said how much I'm gonna miss this group because they do such great things. We've got that same type of relationship in the police department as well. We are fortunate enough, we have Officer Skelly with us here today who serves as our SRO at the high school. Without his work and his presence in that building, we couldn't do what we need to do on a daily basis without his work there. We rely on him for so many things, and that work and that relationship that we have not only with the city but with specifically with our police department is just unmatched around Ohio. In my first week on the job, we had a meeting with Mr. Filipiak, had a couple of other council members there with us as well, and one of those topics that we talked about immediately out of the gate in my tenure here was how do we increase school safety. One of those things has been talking about expanding our SRO program, which is something that the governor has been talking about as well. Obviously, there are challenges with that. Just like we're seeing in public education right now, there's a workforce development need. Chief Gunch and the city of Mentor are dealing with that from the police officer standpoint as well. So we're trying to come up with creative ways and solutions that we can start to expand that relationship a little bit more with our police department, and we're looking forward to those conversations. In March, our board had about a 2.5-hour meeting all about school safety. We held it right here in Paradigm. First 45 minutes were in public session where we talked about those things that we want the public to be aware of, that we're having these conversations. The next hour and a half, I think it was, we spent an executive session going through fine details of what it is that we can do to make sure that our schools are safe every single day for every student in our district. We look forward to this partnership expanding. We look forward to our connections with the city of Mentor, especially with our police department. And we are so fortunate to be able to recognize Chief Gunch, Officer Skelly, and Mr. Filipiak here today for this Business Partnership Impact Award for 2023. If you would please join me. Again, one last thank you to everybody in the room from our office. Again, could not do this without all of these partnerships. We've recognized 4 tremendous partners here today. So fortunate to have every connection that we have here in the room today, and looking forward to how we can expand those things here in the future. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Joe for some closing remarks.
Perfect. Thank you. So yeah, that is going to close up what we did today. What I would like to do though really quick is and I think probably like 90% of people in here will know him, but in the back of the room right now, I just want to thank Stephen Dome, who helped us today run some of the tech with us. If you guys don't know Stephen, you will. Stephen's a Mentor High School senior, also works with AWT, works with Homeland Security, does a lot of, does a lot of really great things, and just couldn't thank you for that enough. So thank you everybody for attending today. Really appreciate it. It's always nice to just kind of get us all together, to remind us a little bit what we're doing, why we're doing it. I tied it back into the speech there. I didn't mean to, but yes. So thank you very much, and everybody have a great morning. Thank you.